Yeah, I mean, in general, I do. I mean, the things you just talked about in terms of politicians wanting to regulate the technology companies, it's. I hope people get smarter than that, because most politicians lack the financial literacy, as shown by, some of them thinking they had $3 billion to spend when they kicked Amazon out from coming to New York, or some of the questions asked to Facebook last year, like, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service? So, when you've got senators asking those kinds of questions or understanding those things, it really makes you worried. The good news is I think most of the American public is smarter than that. I think they understand that you get, search for free. You get, social media connections for free. I mean, and we're used to that, right? Because TV was run on ads, radio was run on ads. So if I look at the U.S. technology companies, yeah, we're invested in some of them. We're also invested in a lot of the Chinese names that we like a lot, where some of those stocks are down 40% from their highs. And in China, the government massively supports their tech companies, unlike in the U.S., where we always seem to be going after them. And so for a lot of those names, I, in fact, like a lot of them even better to some degree, because they have a lot of support, and this isn't going to be an issue for the Chinese companies.
I don't quite understand what you're saying. I mean, I understand that you're saying that politicians in general don't have the financial literacy when it comes to technological issues or maybe even economic issues, that ultimately what they do is popular, and yet you say that the American people, you think, are smarter than that and will supersede what the politicians seem to want to do, which is to regulate technology. The politicians wouldn't be calling for the breakup of tech, for imposing regulations, imposing privacy regulations, if the American people didn't want it then?
Well, no, I mean, I look at it differently. You've got a bunch of fringe politicians, in my mind, who are proposing some things that are pretty radical. But at the end of the day, I think if you ask the average American, you said, okay, well, here's your choice. You can get, ads that you want to see, and get these services for free. And especially if you go to emerging markets where they don't have $60,000 per person per GDP, right? If you go to India, or I'm an immigrant to this country, right? My first paycheck was sort of $20.70 for 7 hours of work. If you go to India, they like having services for free, et cetera. And so I think, people have sort of lost track of that and what we get. And I think in general, you've got more people in the middle, though they may not want to come out and say it, than, what is being popularly portrayed, because, those sound bites are great. When you say, oh, I got Amazon kicked out of New York.